The Galactic Emperor choked on his drink the moment Earth's representative took the treaty, folded it into a paper swan, and set it on fire. In the 1,000 years of interstellar diplomacy, no species had ever rejected a Level 7 accord from the unified Galactic Empire. Most just signed, bowed, and handed over their mineral rights. But humans? Humans stared at the Empire's delegation, shrugged like they'd just skipped a parking ticket, and said, "Nah, we're good." The Emperor's chamber buzzed with static disbelief. His 10-jawed advisors clicked in horror. His psionic scribe fainted mid-transcript. No one was ready for Earth's answer. But Earth was done playing nice. Open comms, Admiral Jericho grunted, chewing aggressively on cinnamon gum as he lounged in a rusting command chair aboard the ISS Meatball 6. The bridge around him looked like a yard sale collided with a garage band's tour bus. Let's give them a proper reply. His comms officer, an ex-YouTuber named Sasha who once live-streamed a shuttle crash while laughing, hit a button labeled "Make him cry." A signal beamed out. The humans' reply to the Galactic Empire's offer of peace was a 20-second video of a bald eagle eating a snake while Thunderstruck played in the background. Then, over a static-filled close-up of a raccoon holding a knife, Jericho's voice declared, "Treaty denied. Sincerely, Earth. P.S. We just made a cannon that shoots microwave cheese." The feed cut. Back in the throne chambers of the Galactic Core, the Empire's most prestigious war analyst, High Strategist Velmox, dropped his monocle. "They what?" "They microwaved cheese, sir," his aide confirmed, voice trembling. "And they intend to launch it. At us." The Empire's consensus was swift. Clearly, Earth had gone feral. To the Galactic Council, humans had always been a Class 4 anomaly, unrefined, messy, emotional, barely worth studying. Their application for Empire inclusion had sat in bureaucratic limbo for decades. Nobody actually expected them to read the fine print. But now? Earth wasn't just declining the treaty. They were mocking it. And worse, they were innovating. By the third day, Earth had blocked all diplomatic channels and started broadcasting a 24/7 livestream titled Operation Spicy Freedom, Watch Us Prepare. The footage? Tanks painted neon pink. Jetpacks strapped to emus. A Navy officer duct-taping forks to a drone and calling it Plan B. The galaxy watched in paralyzed confusion. On the fifth day, Emperor Zalvor summoned the full Imperial fleet. 1,000 capital ships, each the size of continents, armed with precision beams and command AI grown in vats of pure logic. The mission: subdue Earth. Peacefully, if possible. Destructively, if needed. The Empire's spokesperson, a six-limbed diplomat named YRRZ, made one final attempt at reason. He beamed himself onto Earth's central comms frequency and tried diplomacy. "Humans of Sol 3, he said, tone slow and patronizing, "please reconsider. You are a young species. Unstable. You lack unity. You lack order. You lack seriousness." He was answered by a close-up of Steve. Just Steve. Nobody knew his rank. He wore aviators and a cowboy hat. Behind him, explosions. "Buddy," Steve grinned, cracking a cold can of something labeled Screaming Caffeine Ultra. "You ever seen a country girl do a backflip with a bazooka while playing the banjo?" YRRZ blinked. "What?" Steve whistled. In the background, a goat exploded for no clear reason. "We ain't serious, alien. We're ready." And Earth declared open war by mailing 40,000 Empire diplomats actual glitter bombs. That day, the Empire officially moved Earth from low-risk compliance zone to category volatile death circus. Admiral Jericho cracked his knuckles. "Let's make history, people. Bring me the secret folder." "You know the one." Sasha paled. "You don't mean..." "Oh, I do. Operation Possum Drop." "But sir, that was banned by 12 ethics committees." Jericho's grin was feral. "And yet, nobody said we couldn't reboot it." Lights dimmed. Guitars blared over intercoms. Humanity had torn up the treaty. And the Empire finally realized. Earth wasn't negotiating. They were prepping a show. End of Section 1. Ready for Section 2? It gets worse for the aliens, and way more chaotic. Deploy the possums. Admiral Jericho's words echoed like a war drum through the bridge of the ISS Meatball 6. Nobody breathed. Sasha, the comms officer, blinked twice, then punched in a command code that hadn't been used since the Taco Bell incident of 2094. From Earth's orbit, 300 small black pods dropped toward the approaching Galactic fleet, each one covered in nonsensical graffiti, airbrushed skulls, and one that just said live. Laugh. Lick lasers. The Empire, of course, assumed these were some kind of crude Earth missiles. They were wrong. The pods burst open mid-flight. Out poured screaming, battle-armored possums. Yes, actual possums. But enhanced. Gene modded. Half feral, half drunk, fully fearless. Each was wearing a miniature vest labeled Chaos Certified. Inside the Empire's flagship, the Valor Ascendant, alarms went berserk. Biological incursion detected, shrieked the AI core. What kind of biologicals? Barked High Commander Zorvel. The AI paused. Possum. What the hell is a possum? The crew didn't have to wait long to find out. Seconds later, one of the rabid Earth mammals broke through the ventilation shaft, launched itself onto the bridge, bit an ensign's ankle, and screeched like a dial-up modem having a seizure. Panic erupted. The possums were everywhere. Crawling inside helmets. Chewing through power conduits. One of them apparently hacked a holodable by head-butting it repeatedly. The Valor Ascendant, the pride of the Empire's fleet, was now on fire, spinning in a slow barrel roll while 120 tiny Earth creatures did donuts on hoverboards in its engineering bay. Elsewhere in the fleet, reactions varied. The Vrogothi, a four-eyed, methane-breathing species known for calm logic, simply stared at the opossum chewing through their cables and said, "This is not optimal." The Krell, whose nervous systems were linked directly to their ships, started twitching in sync as dozens of possums chewed through the wiring. The Tharnaxian delegation panicked, declared possums to be demons, and immediately launched an exorcism missile, which looped back and hit themselves. Back on Earth, Sasha updated the scoreboard. 15 ships disabled. 3 surrendered to the possums? Jericho nodded. They learn fast. He turned to his tactical officer. Activate Phase 2. You mean, the inflatable decoys? Yes. Let's confuse the hell out of them. 30,000 inflatable human soldiers, life-sized, ugly, wobbly, and armed with pool noodles, were launched from lunar cannons. The Empire scanners detected them as heat signatures and prepped for attack. When the aliens opened fire, they hit rubber dummies that flopped around like Carlot tube men. Empire Fleet Command watched their own weapon systems burn through ammo, energy, and coolant, all while the humans sat back, sipping Mountain Dew and narrating the battle on Twitch. On the Slayer of Suns, Vice Admiral Gerdick shouted in outrage, "Why do they not return fire?" The human decoys bounced in slow motion across the void, some wearing sunglasses and holding your mom signs. "Sir, permission to deploy the Psychic Crushers?" a Tharnaxian captain asked. Gerdick hissed. "No. Not yet. These things, they haven't even brought out their true fleet." Wrong again. Humanity didn't have a fleet like the Empire did. They had space RVs with railguns duct-taped on, deep-sea submarines converted for orbit, and a stealth unit made entirely of cloaked porta-potties. But they didn't need ships, they had unpredictability. The next Earth assault came in the form of a weaponized meme packet. A data virus laced with thousands of Earth-born internet memes, cats in banana suits, Shrek playing the bagpipes, TikToks explaining how to alpha your aura. The Empire's AI network tried to analyze them. It broke. The Galactic Fleet's internal comms devolved into gibberish. Commands were replaced by rickrolls. The Emperor's face appeared on every ship, auto-tuned and deepfaked to say, "Earth Daddy's coming." Chaos. Utter, unrelenting chaos. On the Meatball 6, Sasha stared at the screen. "Sir, the Krall just sent an official message. They said, and I quote, 'This isn't war. This is performance art.'" Jericho smirked. "Then it's working." From the ruins of the first wave, the Empire attempted to regroup. The Valor Ascendant, still spinning, now had graffiti across its hull. Possum Power and Earth said nope. Inside, several officers were weeping while a possum played with the intercom. Back on the Emperor's personal command ship, panic was giving way to fury. "Enough," Zalvor thundered. "Summon the planet crackers. We burn Earth clean." But as the order echoed through the ranks, new intel came in. Earth's ground defenses weren't just preparing. They were laughing. Live streams showed humans in bunkers playing poker next to railgun launchers. Grandmas handing out flamethrowers. A marching band rehearsing next to a row of tanks painted like clowns. The Empire had come expecting resistance. They got a circus. And it was when the Emperor slammed his fists on the throne's control dais, shattering the embedded gemstone interface. "I want Earth vaporized. I want the Sol system turned to mist. Call in the Obliterator class. Call the Red Choir. Call the damn galaxy burners." But even as he raged, the Imperial fleet outside Earth's orbit was in shambles. Possums still ran wild on engineering decks. AI systems were caught in infinite loops arguing about whether Shrek is love was a threat or a philosophy. Entire squadrons had deserted, choosing instead to orbit Pluto in stunned silence. On the ISS Meatball 6, Admiral Jericho leaned back, boots on the dashboard, eating string cheese like he was watching Sunday football. "Time to bring out the big one." Sasha blinked. "You don't mean the resonator?" "Oh, I do. Let's end their will to fight. Or at least confuse the hell out of them." From a hidden base beneath the Nevada desert, a vault opened. Inside, sat Earth's greatest weapon. Not a bomb. Not a beam. But a speaker system the size of a battleship, wired directly into the International Dad Joke database and powered by dark humor reactors. Its name? The Resonator Protocol. Within minutes, a massive satellite unfolded over Earth. It had one purpose: psychological warfare through the most unbearable, most incomprehensible, most human sounds ever recorded. The first transmission hit every Imperial frequency simultaneously. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. No explosion. No death ray. Just awkward silence. Then came the next wave. Bagpipes fused with dubstep. Babies laughing. Then crying. Then laughing again. An infinite loop of Windows 95 error sounds, goat screams, and distorted yodeling. All layered beneath a man screaming Leroy Jenkins for 58 minutes straight. Ships began to fail. Not from damage, but from despair. Trained warriors clawed at their helmets, begging the sound to stop. AI cores attempted digital suicide. Empire captains started confessing to minor traffic violations from their youth. One warship, the Hammer of Nine Suns, just turned around. No fight. No words. They left. "Sir," Sasha said, watching the growing collapse, "the Glorth just started punching each other to prove they're still real. The Yulak are performing synchronized interpretive dance to cope. The Tharnaxian High Priest now believes we are the physical embodiment of divine nonsense." Jericho nodded. "Good. Let's escalate." With a flick of his wrist, he activated Final Phase Resonator content, a 20-hour lecture on Earth tax codes, narrated by a sleep-deprived accountant who forgot his notes. Across the Empire fleet, minds broke. The Emperor screamed, "Shut it down. Shut them up. I don't care what it takes." Too late. Earth was no longer fighting. Earth was broadcasting. Every channel, every ship, every device now showed humans cooking deep-fried Oreos, practicing competitive kazoo warfare, and holding a most ridiculous mustache contest. Then, silence. All broadcasts cut. Only one screen remained. A single human, sitting in a recliner. It was Steve. He wore a robe, held a cat, and stared into the camera with unblinking confidence. "Hey," he said softly. "Want to see something cool?" He snapped his fingers. The moon blinked. Literally blinked. Because apparently, Earth had turned the moon into a massive holographic projector. And now, across the void, the face of the moon shifted into a giant smiling emoji. The message beneath it? Try us. Panic became collapse. Fleet Command lost all cohesion. Entire species surrendered just to make it stop. The Galactic Bank froze all funding for the war. The Krell burned their own treaties. The Vrogathi requested asylum on Earth. Inside the Emperor's war room, alarms blared. Generals yelled over one another. Aides broke into sobbing fits. The throne's AI played elevator music to calm him. It didn't help. The Empire's grip wasn't just slipping, it was unraveling. And just then, Steve returned on screen. "By the way," he said, sipping something from a pineapple-shaped mug, "we haven't even used the Goose Division yet." The Emperor stood in stunned silence. "The what?" "Yeah," Steve grinned. "Hyper-aggressive Canadian geese. 10-foot wingspan. Fireproof. No known predators. We put 'em in zero gravity." Back on the Meatball 6, Jericho stood, straightened his jacket, and gave the final command. "Ready to drop pods. It's time to send in the birds." As the sky opened and genetically modified geese in tactical armor rained down on the remains of the Galactic Fleet, one final communique went out from Empire Command. "Initiate full retreat. Earth is not a planet. It is an experience. And we are not ready." It began with honking. Not the polite kind you hear in traffic. No. This was war honk. Bone-chilling, ego-crushing, pride-shattering honk. A symphony of rage and feathers erupted across the Empire's fleet as Earth's final weapon deployed in full, tactical zero-G geese. They tore through holes with serrated beaks. They ripped through plasma shields like it was thin plastic. One goose took out a battlecruiser by flying directly into the bridge, honking once, and flapping its wings until the captain cried. They couldn't be reasoned with. Couldn't be bribed. They felt nothing. The Empire had lost control. Entire command ships were now broadcasting live footage of officers being chased by flocks of space geese wielding sharpened spoons duct taped to their wings. Some alien species interpreted this as ritual combat. Others assumed the humans had unlocked a new tier of madness. On board the Meatball 6, Admiral Jericho leaned forward, calm as ever. "Report." Sasha, chewing on a glow stick for reasons no one questioned, nodded. 80% of the fleet is either retreating, hiding, or honking back in confusion. The Yulak have joined the geese. The Glorth have formally applied for Earth citizenship. And the Tharnaxians are worshipping a possum. Jericho cracked his knuckles. Time for the final blow. He turned to tactical. "Deploy the Steve." The bridge went silent. Every crew member stood. Even the ship's snack dispenser beeped in respect. From low orbit, a single drop pod launched. It spun, shimmered, and descended toward the command ship of the Emperor himself. Inside was Steve, aviators on, cowboy hat tilted, chewing on a matchstick like he was born in a thunderstorm. His weapon? A megaphone. His backup? A crate full of fireworks, a bottle of hot sauce, and a mixtape labeled Earth's Greatest Hits, Volume 2. The Emperor, watching from his throne room, whispered, this can't be their hero." But it was. Steve crash-landed through the flagship's dome, did a somersault, landed on a conference table, and immediately shouted through the megaphone. "This meeting is now a barbecue." He lit the fireworks, doused them in hot sauce, and hit play on the mixtape. A mashup of screaming goats, death metal, and someone beatboxing the U.S. national anthem filled the room. The lights cut. Smoke filled the air. Then, from the shadows, Steve's voice came again. We told you. Don't mess with Earth. We didn't climb to the top of the food chain to take crap from space crustaceans. Outside, the moon flashed again, this time with a new message. How's that treaty look now? The Emperor collapsed into his throne, his ceremonial armor scorched by a rogue firework, his crown slightly melted, one boot missing. This is humiliation, he whispered. No, said his chief strategist quietly. This is Earth. In a final desperate move, the Emperor tried to rally the last of his generals. But before he could speak, a goose casually strolled into the room, honked at him once, and sat down on his control console like it owned the place. The Emperor stood. Then sighed. Very well, he muttered. We surrender. To whatever this is. Back on Earth, Admiral Jericho received the transmission with all the enthusiasm of someone receiving a pizza. Told you. You don't negotiate with clowns who juggle grenades. You walk away, or you get the circus. The Empire's surrender message went viral in under 30 seconds. The image of the Emperor, goose in lap, eyes hollow, hair on fire, became humanity's new flag. Then came Earth's final broadcast. Steve appeared again, standing in front of a grill, flipping burgers, fireworks going off behind him, shirtless and sunburned, surrounded by possums in party hats. He looked directly into the camera. Dear Galaxy, he said, flipping a steak, next time you send a treaty, try including barbecue sauce. He winked. Bit into a hot dog. And as the Meatball 6 drifted by behind him, its hull now graffitied with "We warned you," Steve dropped the mic. Earth out.